So, like, I poop myself, and I have to, like, walk over, like, my sludge pants past the other kids to go to this little, like, shack. Hello, and welcome to the We Hate Anime Christmas special. I'm Moth, just letting you know we're not talking anime this week. This is actually just a Christmas special where we gathered around and we decided to tell some stories. So, hope you guys have fun, and we'll see you with normal content at the start of the new year. Thanks. Alright, welcome everyone to the Christmas special. Here with me as always is Frog King. Frog, you want to say hello?
No, I don't feel like it right now.
Alright, fine, that's Frog. And with me always is the man behind the podcast, the one who's made it, who made all of our dreams possible. It's Mike.
Hi everybody, it's me,
Yes.
Mike.
So, and then lastly, as you all know, I'm the Mothman. I'm the eye candy. I'm the eye candy of the podcast.
Everyone needs eye candy on a podcast.
Yeah, you really do.
A purely
it's
auditory
funny because I
medium.
actually, I don't know. Like, I'm so disappointed in my co-host on this one. Like, I posted a bunch of photos that were taken of me the other day, and nobody loved it. It made me so sad.
I didn't even see it.
You didn't even see my selfies?
I saw them like now after you posted them in the server, but I didn't see them on Twitter.
I seen them yesterday after you hit me up, and you look good, man. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah,
That was a
was
while
like
back, wasn't it?
3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah, happy birthday. though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I did.
I think in
Oh,
the
man.
last one that I was here, in the last episode that I was on, you were talking about your birthday, and I think we actually said it
You mean last episode? You mean last time, right, Mike?
Yeah, last time.
last time.
Yeah, last time, Mike.
Yeah.
But, So no, it was the worst. So I've had like really bad body dysphoria my whole life, and I talked about that back when I used to have Eileen on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I had it really, really bad, and I lost a ton of weight. I think the day I did those photos, I was down to like 153 pounds because I had just done like a water purge diet.
Whoa.
And like the day before I took those photos, I was on my treadmill for an hour and a half at a 15-degree incline.
Damn.
With full sweat clothes. Like I was sweating out every ounce of water in my body.
Nice.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, no, that was awful. But you know, the one thing it did do is it actually cured my actual dysphoria, because I realized I'm like, dude, this is the smallest I'm gonna be, and I still have this like tiny baby gut that I can't get rid of. So I've kind of bulked back up, and I'm back up to 165, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna grow muscle at 165. I'm done being tiny.
There you go.
I mean, you don't think 12 pounds is a lot? It is.
Yeah. 12 pounds is kind of heavy when you lift it.
Yeah,
That's like how many bags of milk is that?
Oh, that is 1.5.
It's a decent amount of heft to it.
Dude, I can do amazing math if milk is involved.
So does that mean that like that's twice of that is like entire bag of the bags of milk? Because they usually sell them in bags of 3.
Oh, yeah, do they really?
Yeah.
Well, do they do 2-liter bags or do they do gallon bags?
I think they're 1 liter bags each, and there's 3 liters.
Okay, so that's 3 liters, so that's 6 pounds or 3 kilograms.
So
for you.
2 bags of milk.
No, it'd be for you. It would be it'd be 6 bags of milk.
So yeah, that's 2 bags of milk then. Is what you gained or lost?
2 buckets of bags of milk is what I've gained since that photo shoot.
It's a lot of milk.
Well, no, it's you got to realize like when you do like shows, like you go to bodybuilding shows and whatnot, those dudes have honestly cut like 10 pounds of water out of their system. So the moment they go and eat their burger or wherever they're going after the show, like they immediately gain 6 pounds that day.
That's wild.
So it is very temporary weight loss.
Would it not just be like them gaining 6 pounds because the burger is 6 pounds?
It's whatever the water weight, because like your muscles will pull that water in because they've been so starved for water. So like you will not pee at all that day.
Oh, that's weird.
So what you did on that treadmill was just trying to actually put yourself in that type of I guess position with your body?
Yeah, I was so dehydrated. If you actually like look at those photos and go back and look at my lips, you can see like how horribly cracked my lips are. In all those
Oh, you
photos
hate to see
because
that.
of just how dehydrated I am.
Dude, I in the wintertime I get so dried out. My whole body just gets dry as fuck. Like my fucking everywhere. It's super. My hands actually. Back in Goose Bay, I lived in like a place in Labrador, like it's cold as fuck, like minus 50 degrees Celsius up there. Sometimes my hands, my backs of my palms, my hands were just so dehydrated they would just crack and bleed.
Oh yeah, no, it's and then your fingers are like curling in on themselves.
Yeah.
You're like, man, am I gonna lose a digit today?
Seriously, like, oh, not to mention it was just like freezing outside, so you'd worry about like just getting like frostbite on top of that. But not fun.
Yeah, it's.
I still get it in some parts of my
you
body,
like-
like my fucking. But how come my dick gets like dry as hell? I don't know. It's weird.
It's
not
just
even
'cause I
joking.
masturbate too much.
No, it just happens.
Well, do you have your foreskin still, Frog?
No.
That's why it gets dry. Like without your foreskin, like without your protective sleeping bag, your dick just suffers.
Huh? Maybe.
I wouldn't know.
It's Kevin over here dodged a bullet. He didn't have like a rabbi, like the on-staff hospital rabbi, just like kicking the door when he was born. Like, get him!
To be fair, mine was for medical reasons at like age 7.
And that's exactly
Wait.
why I'm eternally
Wait.
grateful for my mother.
You got circumcised at age 7?
It was like pretty early on, yeah.
Wait. Before we begin, this episode of the podcast, we are not going to talk about anime at all. I'm completely unhinged.
This is not even an anime
just
podcast.
story
This is
time.
just something else.
We're just well. This is technically the We Hate Anime podcast because we got all three of us. You know, Mike, Frog, and I.
Oh well, yes, but
I'm barely awake.
Oh yeah, Mike has just come off another 12-hour shift working at the auto parts store at Walmart. But yeah, so as far as that goes, we're just telling stories. So Frog, the story of when you were circumcised.
Is that really a story?
Yep, tell us why you got circumcised. I want to hear all the details.
So the reason why is because the common health related reason why is because I can't pull it back enough. It wouldn't like come off, right? Which is a common thing. So you get
like you were oversheathed.
Is that the term?
Like you had more foreskin to go around than you knew what to do with.
I don't think it was that. It was just that the hole was not large enough to actually pull the head through, I think, was the deal.
You get a foreskin. You get a foreskin. They get a foreskin.
Yeah,
wait, so you were like sealed. You could like twist it and put a rubber band on it. It would totally lock your penis in.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Like, it was not coming out very easily at all. So
I mean, you're supposed to grow into your dick.
However,
like you're supposed to grow into your foreskin, Frog.
But there was an inciting incident, though. That was not the only reason. I mean, it was the only reason, but the inciting incident that made it more, that kind of brought that into fruition was that I was being a jerk ass one day, pissing in a toilet like a Chad. I decided for some reason to, just sit my dick on top of like the toilet seat and then kind of balance the top toilet seat. And we had like one of those heavy ones that was made of full porcelain.
Why?
And that shit just boom,
So
slammed
Frog
right-
over here twisting his dick under the toilet seat, just like playing Stretch Armstrong with his uncircumcised dick.
No, I wasn't stretching it. I wasn't like twisting it around. It was just like on it, like less resting on it. And then I was like kind of playing with the top toilet seat, like saying like, "Oh, it's gonna fall," and it actually fell. So, do I have to describe what happened there in graphic detail?
So who found
please.
you?
Basically, I pissed all over the room covered in blood. Like,
Who found
I had
you?
to clean that up. Oh, I was
Oh, no.
screaming like bloody murder, but everyone found me. And then all my parents came through like, "Oh my God, what happened? Why are you peeing blood everywhere? Oh God, oh no!" They took me to the car, we went to the hospital, and they're like, "Oh, while we're here, I guess we might as well circumcise him."
they're like, the doctor comes out and says, "We're sorry, but the foreskin didn't make it."
Yeah, mate.
That's exactly
Mike,
what it is.
Honestly, Mike, you've been telling the best jokes lately on the podcast. I really appreciate that. Like, usually your jokes are like, and then my dad beat my sister, but like these lately have just been...
Capitalism is awful.
Oh, okay, we're back to
classic
old
Mike.
All right.
Classic Mike.
Yeah, classic Mike. I guess if we're telling stories of like bathroom-related incidents when we're 9 years old, I'll go off the script that I had for myself.
What a great
I
Christmas
don't know
episode,
why.
guys.
But in the 3rd grade, I just pooped my pants all the time.
Nice.
Like, and this is 9 years old. So like, I'm 9 years old, and I would just poop my pants all the time as a 9-year-old.
Hey teacher, I went again.
Yeah, no, like, it would just be like, I did, and my mother was getting so fed up because she was like going through like packages of cheap $2 Walmart like briefs because I didn't get into boxers until I was 11 years old and watched, I think, Grind.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Grind as a kid, and I was like, man, briefs are for gay babies. I'm gonna do boxers from here on out.
No way, briefs are dope.
Yeah, briefs are kind
dude,
of
I'm
the way.
boxers. I've been boxers my whole life. Like, I just even the underwear I'm wearing right now, like my special Mormon underwear, I have a size too large for myself just to let my balls hang out.
In high school, a girl told me, and she's like, "Yeah, I think briefs are dope," and I'm like, "Okay, that's cool. I'm a briefs guy now."
Gosh, that's what did it for you? Okay, no, Grind actually came out in 2003, so I guess I started wearing boxers when I was 13.
I just kind of wear whatever it was I have. My parents got me things and I wore them. Why do you guys worry about this shit?
But like, I'm 9 years old and I'm just going through underwear. And I poop myself in class and I go to the bathroom because, like, I don't know if your elementary schools were designed like this, but in the middle of the class is like a little brick wall with a door. And that's like the bathroom. And so the teacher can keep an eye on you so you don't go down the hall and, like, you know, mess up the bathroom. You actually have one in your classroom. Like, did you guys have that?
We had that. Well, I had that in kindergarten, and that was it.
Yeah, we had that all the way up to like 5th grade, and then grade 5 and 6 in elementary school, you just had normal bathrooms.
That's degrading.
Yeah, it was a little bit. So like, I poop myself, and I have to like walk over like my sludge pants past the other kids to go to this little like shack. And I'm in the shack, and the shack doesn't have like a trash can, and so I got this poopy underwear I got to do something with.
Hang on. I'm sorry to interrupt, but have you guys ever listened to a podcast where it opens up with a piece of like dialogue that's going to be in the episode somewhere?
Yeah, you know, I have, and I brought that up to you once, Mike. I was like, hey, can we start the intros like this? And Mike's like, no, I paid $50 to commission a song that sounds like this is on my OP.
Well, I mean, I really feel like I would like to have you say, I pooped my pants, and then have the intro song start, and then, you know, have the rest of the podcast start.
All right, that's perfect. We'll do that.
You know, let everybody know what we're getting into.
Yeah, just like, I pooped my pants again, and then just like have the Christmas theme I have planned start playing.
Oh, that reminds me of a story. Like, when I was in like grade school, dude. When I was in grade school, there was this kid who was like notorious for shitting his pants. Like, but not like in class or anything. He would go to the bathroom and he would just have the stall door like wide open, and you would just walk by and his legs would just be covered in just fecal matter. And he would like look at you like, and he'd be like, "No!" That kid was like,
the most ultimate of alphas because he'd be making eye contact with you while he's crying.
Did he have a vicious smile on his face?
No, literally, he would like literally do it as to own people. It was like he was a villain.
That is actually true chaotic evil energy.
Oh god,
definitely.
It happened to me like at least 2 or 3 times during that school. He was
just the autistic kid just craps himself right.
No. He was like a smart dude. Like he was like a whole ass guy. He was just like, dude.
And that's the story of how
just
Frog.
Smart.
And that's the story of how Frog grew up to be a uni player.
What? Where's the correlation?
There isn't.
Under Night Rebirth player.
Under Night in Birth Crap My Pants edition.
It's Friday night. I'm alone. I have a pint of ice cream. Fucking Mad World soundtrack is playing. Round 1, fight.
It just traumatized me so much I had to become an anime player just to...
Alright, so back to me crapping myself. So like I got this like handful of filthy, soiled underwear. And I got to do something with it because I can't just like leave it in the bathroom because everyone knows I was the last one in the bathroom. So like I walk with like my balled up fist of poop underwear like held to my leg. And I walk to the coat rack. Like there's this little like side cubby where you got some like hidden vision where all the coats and like clothes are kept. Because Alaska, it's cold. You have to have coat racks. And I put my shitty underwear like right in front of the mentally challenged kid's cubby.
Oh.
And I just go back and I sit down. And like I wasn't trying to be malicious at the time, but I was like, man, if there's any kid who'd poop himself in class that isn't me, it would be this guy. And I feel bad because it's like a 4chan like story at this point. Like we're all I guess a girl goes to the bathroom later. And I don't know why, but she like walks through the coat rack and she steps on the poopy underwear and slips and falls.
You know, Moth?
And then they all blame the mentally challenged kid and I just get away with it. I never talk about it again.
You know, Moth?
What?
I hate you.
Why? What did I do this time, Mike?
I clean restrooms like that, and you're the type of kid. It's you.
No. Like I was generally pretty hygienic. Like there was no poop on like the floor or anything.
Moth was the
just,
kid in the bathroom who stared me in the eyes. He traveled back in time.
I think what was that tweet I made? I think that was the one like you really got on me about it, Mike. It was like, of course I take my pants off when I pee at a urinal. Or when I use a urinal. How else am I gonna poop in it?
I'm like reliving my trauma right now.
I used to clean
so
bathrooms at
Mike,
like a Tim Hortons, so I know what it's like, man.
So Mike, before you started working for the Walmart auto parts store, you said you were a janitor. Do you have any good janitor stories?
I don't want to talk about it. You are my stories, Moth.
You just told all the stories you need to tell.
All right. Let's rotate it a little bit here. I got a story of when I set myself on fire.
I thought this was a Christmas episode.
It is. This happened. I got kicked off my mission like right before Christmas, and this was like a few weeks before I got kicked off my mission.
So, were you trying to be the tree?
No. So one day I'm on my mission, and like when you're on your mission, you don't have internet access. Like you don't have socializing. You just like walk by stores and you see like movies come and go, and you don't know anything about it.
Where were
I
you?
didn't see I was in Germany.
Okay.
I had gotten deported out of Switzerland, and then I'd gotten deported out of Austria. So I was spending like the rest of my mission in Germany.
You got deported?
And, yeah. We never secured my visa to go to Switzerland, which is originally my mission call was to teach in Switzerland. And so I landed at the airport, and they're like, "No, you can't be here." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "Go to Austria." So I go to Austria, and then when you're in Austria, you're supposed to announce yourself as a religious, you're supposed to announce like, "Hey, I'm a religious teacher. I'm going to be here for this amount of time." And I forgot to do that. So after 90 days, they like knocked on my door and they're like, "Hey, you have to either leave or we're going to deport you manually and you're not going to be allowed back in Austria for 2 years."
Whoa.
Yeah.
So I went to Germany and spent the rest of my mission in Germany.
Did you have any problems there?
Yeah, I got kicked off my mission.
Oh, that's right.
Where's the fire coming to this?
I'm sorry.
So when you're on your mission, basically like a young 19-year-old to 26-year-old dudes like rotate through these apartments. So you have what's called like apartment treasures, which is just like you're cleaning the apartment one day and someone like left a copy of like Risk, or in my case, somebody came back to like an entire Tyranid army of Warhammer 40k because I left it. Which was like at the time was like a 200 euro army back in the day. And so I was going through one day and I found a bunch of marshmallows and I was like, "Oh, hell yeah." And I was suddenly like craving marshmallows. I was like, "Man, I want to roast these marshmallows." So I'm looking around the apartment and originally I'm thinking like, okay, I'll just put them on a fork and I'll roast them on the stove. Like I'll just turn on the stove. Well, the stove's electric. It's not gas. So you can't roast marshmallows on a stove if it's electric. So I start digging through the apartment and I find a box of, football or soccer is a huge deal in Europe. And so they have those like country flags, those like really cheap ones that are like a foot long that everybody just like waves angrily during football games. We had an entire box of American flags of those. Now, those are not actually made out of cloth. Like they're made out of this nylon mesh that's like 50% plastic. So I get this pack of flags and they're on a little plastic white stick. And then you got this nylon mesh at the end of it for like these cheap flags. Like they're 30 cents a pop to make. So they're not expensive.
Did you say they were American flags?
Yeah, they're like American flags.
What were American flags doing in Germany?
Some of the missionaries are American, and like during the World Cup, you can get whatever the hell you want at your local grocery store.
Oh,
like,
so this was during the World Cup?
No. What had happened is they had gone to the World Cup.
Oh.
And then they had bought them. Like this was 2 years ago. Like I found this old stuff from an old apartment.
Oh, okay.
And so I get like 3 of these flags, and I rip the American flag off, and I rip them into strips, and then I wrap them in strips around the plastic head of the flag. And then I like hold them in place with a rubber band. And I'm trying to light these damn things on fire, and they're not catching fire because, surprise, they're nylon. So I go ahead and I find my hair gel, because at the time I was using hair gel, and I just completely coat this torch that I've made in hair gel, because I'm like, hair gel burns. So I'm creating like a chemical hazard in the bathroom, and I get the whole thing covered in hair gel, and I light it on fire, and boom, it goes up. It goes up in smoke perfectly. So I start roasting a marshmallow on a fork on this hair gel torch I have. Well, I'm holding it at like a 60-degree angle.
Do you need a marshmallow that bad?
Yeah, I needed a marshmallow that bad. Like, I was going crazy. You have to understand, like, the amount of mental anxiety and stress that I was going through on my mission. Like, it was, like, a lot of Mormons talk about, like, oh, yeah, the mission was the best part of my life. Like, I did so many stupid and regrettable damn things on my mission because I was going crazy. I actually started getting, like, hallucinations, and I dropped the lightest I've ever been at my life, which is, like, 128 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 5'10".
So am I.
Yeah, think about being 128 pounds at 5'10", Mike.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, right. So I'm roasting these marshmallows, and all of a sudden, like, burning chunks of nylon plastic just start landing on my hand. And because they're covered in hair gel and they're nylon, it's basically napalm. And napalm doesn't come off.
Nope.
So I yeet this damn flag into the toilet as hard as I can. And I just start, like, running around the house, like, angrily banging my hand against the walls and stuff, trying to get this, like, flag, this, like, burning flag off my hand. And because I ended up getting, like, first or second degree burns or something, I don't remember, but, like, my thumb still has, like, scars along it. We had to call the mission president, who's, like, this 60-year-old dude, and we had to call his wife, because, like, if we go to the hospital for any reason, you have to let them know. And I'm like, hey, I'm not going to the hospital about it, but I might in the next few days. I set myself on fire. And this, like, 65-year-old dude is like, you did what?
I set myself on fire, but everything's cool.
Yeah, I was like, I was roasting marshmallows in the apartment, and I set myself on fire.
Yeah.
I didn't process it the first 2 times. What did you say?
No, his wife was like, are you okay, Elder Moth? I'm like, yeah, I'm totally fine.
I'm totally fine. I'm just on fire, but it's cool.
I was just on fire for a little bit. I got better. But, like, for the next 3 days, as we're, like, teaching lessons to these members and these, like, investigators, I'm actually, like, sitting here with a knife, like, scratching burnt plastic off my thumb.
You know, I really like the way you said it. Elder Moth. That sounds so cool.
Elder Moth.
Elder Moth.
I'm not going to say my actual last name.
No, I mean, that's fine. I just like the way that sounds. It's kind of like...
Like I'm a cryptid?
Like, not like Moth-san, you know? Because this is an anime podcast.
All right, Mike, you got any good stories for us yet? Are we going to have Frog tell us a story of, like, a demented kid at his school just, like, rubbing his ass all over the stalls?
I wasn't thinking of one because I was so focused on your story.
Just lighting myself on fire again.
Yeah, I don't have stories like that. I'm a pretty boring person.
Yeah, that's the thing. All my stories are just involving. Well, that one about slamming my dick in the toilet was kind of funny, I guess.
That is.
Yeah, I had to talk to you about your foreskin, and a good story came out,
Yeah.
unlike your dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine now.
Well, no.
It gets dried out.
Unfortunately, I still have my foreskin, and I've never set myself on fire.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
You hate to see it.
Okay, but, like, have you ever done anything, like, super cringy in high school? Like, the time you asked a girl out and you tripped and, like, headbutted her in the tit or something?
I was just really weird in high school, and it was, like, uncomfortable. Like, not even in, like, a funny way, just, like... I would
it was
talk
on
to,
Superbad.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, I would just, like, be that kind of dude who would just, like... sniff girls' hair and shit. They were like my friends, and they were like fine with it. But it was like looking back, it's like, oh god, what the fuck was I doing?
My first day of middle school in 8th grade, because I transferred out of a technical charter. I transferred like a normie middle school, and I'd gotten bullied all through elementary school. So my first day of 8th grade, I was going off of the movie The New Guy. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie, The New Guy.
No.
But they like give him these like prison ideas. They're like, okay, you got to go up to the biggest, baddest dude and just punch him in the face. And so I sit down for lunch with a random table of like aggressive looking guys, like just completely uninvited, sit down at their table and drop like a tray, like a power move or whatever. And they're like, hey, that's Benny's seat. I'm like, I don't give a shit. And I'm sitting there like eating my food, and sure enough, Benny shows up. He's like, hey, get out of my seat, queer. And I'm like, doesn't have your name on it. And I'm like, I'm already scared because this dude is twice my size. And I stand up to like face him, and he like stomps on my shoe, and I pretend like that wasn't the most painful thing he could have done to me right there. And I look at him like, hey, those are my D3s, faggot. And like I'm apologizing, I'm using words I shouldn't use, but this is like 2003 when this was still the cool gamer word. I'm like, those were my D3s. You gonna pay for them or you gonna apologize? The dude just punches me in the face.
I was like, well, now I'm not going to apologize.
Yeah.
He just punches me in the face and like pushes me like into a trash can. He's like, don't ever sit in my seat again, queer.
Wow.
He likes that
And I was
word.
like, all right.
So
And I was-
in middle school, I guess in middle school, I had this buddy that wanted to body me.
That's like beat the crap out of you, right?
Yeah, but I was like, I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter. I don't know how to throw a punch. And I could kind of relate this to Christmas because that day I was wearing a shirt that I got on Christmas. And you know, like those, like they're like thermal shirts. You wear them underneath and it's supposed to keep you warm and stuff.
Yeah, like flannel and shit.
Yeah, exactly. And but it like I usually like I was just wearing the shirt because it had a graphic on it, and but I didn't really like it because my nipples were kind of pointing out. And
Dude,
so I was like,
did you do that in like middle school and high school as well? Like where you'd wear two shirts because your titties would pop out?
yeah.
Never.
Dude, I don't know what it is, but I have like this tiny little like, you know, pens, how they have the clicky end of the pen that you could just click.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my nipples are just loaded with that, and like no matter how like warm it is, like my nipples are always slightly pointing out. So no matter what shirt I wear, if I'm not wearing like two shirts, you're just gonna see these tiny little like boop.
So whenever you're like in public, you're like, no, I'm not happy to see you. I just have really pointy nipples.
Well, like I'm going back and I'm looking at the photos of me. Yeah, like you can actually see them if you go back and you look at those photos. Like if you look at the last one, you can actually see my nipples poking out. Like my buddy tried to censor them, but they're there. Like I just got these nipples I can't do anything with.
Let me see. But anyways, so yeah, that day it was like, okay, it's right. Oh, I could totally see your nipples.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like I can't do anything about those. Those nipples are there. Like I gotta go get nipple replacement surgery.
No, man. God gave you some great nipples. That's why they stick out.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks.
Body positivity, yo.
No, that's gay.
It's okay. We hate anime.
we do that. That's what we do.
That's what we do. Mm-hmm.
Here on the show.
But
that's not actually the show.
So I was wearing this shirt that I got for Christmas where I had a graphic on it, but my nipples were pointing, and I was like really self conscious about it. So during the lunch line, my friend hold on, never mind. I'm Mike today. His name was Kevin. His name's Kevin. So I asked Kev if he could let me borrow his leather jacket, and he's like, "Yeah, sure." But he
Kev was always a good guy.
He was like, "Yeah, I got you, Kev," or "I got you, Mike." And
we're doing it. We're gonna make it to the end of the episode, boys.
We'll do it. Yeah. He's like, "I got you, Mike." And I'm like, "Cool." So he failed to mention though that he had a switchblade in one of the pockets.
Oh.
And yeah, so I'm wearing it and I'm like armed, not having any idea. So we're eating lunch and whatever, and this guy that wants to body me, he was like, "Your ass is mine after we're done eating." And I'm like,
wait till I finish my creme brulee, then you're getting your dick sucked.
Yeah. By the way, pass the mustard, would you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I was like, all right. I really didn't want to do it. I was actually pretty terrified, but I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go to the restroom. I'll be right back. So I go into the restroom. I'm taking a piss, and all of a sudden, a security guard. Did you guys have security guards in your middle schools?
That sounds wild.
No?
Yeah, no, I didn't until like high school, but like up to that point, we just had like some random homeless person wander in every so often.
Oh yeah, we had security guards, but I like grew up in a pretty hood area.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had a security guard come in, and that was the first time that's ever happened. But I'm minding my own business. I'm just taking a piss, and I finished, and there's like other guys there that they I guess they managed to get out, but it was me and then two more people, and the security guard closes the door. I'm like acting normal, just washing my hands, and then he's like, no, you gotta stay. And so he starts checking everybody, and like the other two people that were in there with me, they got checked, and then immediately they got to go. And then he gets to me. I was the last one in there, and he finds the knife.
Switchblade.
Yeah, and he's just like, well, what's up with this? And I was like, I did not know that was in there.
What?
I did
Yeah,
not know that was. That does sound incriminating.
like honestly, like, hey man, this ain't even my jacket. It's your mother's.
Yeah, so he's like, all right, let's go. And so it like caused a scene. Like everybody's watching me get walked up to the front office, and I wasn't even wearing the jacket anymore. The security actually took it, and
You started wearing it.
Dude, your buddy set you up.
It's a
Like,
rad jacket.
yeah.
well, actually, my buddy Kev came through, and he because I was asking the security, I'm like, what's gonna happen to me? He's like, oh, you're getting expelled. And I'm like, what?
Expelled.
I've never
What?
even been suspended. I've never even gotten detention.
I had
And
a buddy bring a gun to school and just got told to put it in his car.
lucky him. And so
Like in elementary school, I think one of my buddies took his hunting rifle. Like his dad had got him like a 30-30, and he was asking the teacher, he's like, hey, can I put this in the coat rack? It's not loaded, but my dad's picking me up after school to go hunting. And she was like, yeah, can you call your dad and have him come get that gun from you? And he's like, yeah, okay. But then again, I guess this is like pre-Columbine or something, so whatever.
Wild.
that is crazy.
Well,
But
it's Alaska. Like, nothing happens up here.
Balto happens, man. Balto.
Balto happened, yeah.
But
By the way, you know, he didn't even run the majority of the length of the thing. He actually looked like a husky. There was another dog who actually did most of the work.
are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Like, he has a statue in Eagle River and everything, and he didn't do a damn thing.
I don't even know what Balto is. I've never heard of this.
You've never
like
heard
a
of
legend
Balto?
thing?
Yeah.
No, like, you never saw the movie Balto?
Not a thing.
Like, seriously. I'm gonna say it, like, 9 more times until you get it, but it was, like, the one that had, like, the weirdly sexually attractive red husky.
What?
Let me find you some pictures. Let me get you this sexy ass red husky here, Frog.
All right. Well, while he does that, I'll finish up my story. But
Okay, gotcha.
yeah. So no. Yeah. So I'm like expecting to get expelled, and then Kev comes in, and he's like, that's my jacket, and my knife was in there. Whatever you were gonna do to him, just do to me, and because. And anyways, we both got suspended, and it was cool. It was fine.
Dude, I only ever got suspended once, and it was like in school suspension. Like, I had to sit there. I just wasn't allowed to be near the other kids, which was fine for me, and it pissed them off because I just sat around and did nothing the whole time.
I've never been
Just-
suspended
just
ever. That sounds
Just sitting
wild.
there shitting your pants.
Yeah, like just yep, exactly.
I was such a good. I
did third
got
grade all
detention
over again.
one time, and it was because I was making too much noise in class. My teachers were not very nice.
What?
No, I
What?
literally
Teachers
I was a
being
good
nice?
kid, dude.
Yeah, me too. I wasn't. It wasn't my. I did not inhale. That's what
I actually I'm trying to remember because like I remember last year of elementary school, some kid like I insulted some kid and he like hit me back with something like, "Hey man, if I wanted to come back, I'd slap your head and make you spit it out." And my gym teacher was right behind me and just started laughing and walked away. It's like,
Man, my school was much different than your guys' school.
yeah, you guys are talking about school like, hey, we had security guards, we had metal detectors.
Well, I didn't know
and I'm
security
like,
guards or anything. It wasn't like that, but
it's like I literally had kids smoke weed behind the school in middle school. Like,
well, in one of my other high schools, there was like way more stuff going on. Like kids would just like fucking. I mean, this is like a more recent thing, but like I hear it all the time from people on like Twitter and like online all the time. People say this is a common thing, but people were like just would smoke in the bathrooms and shit.
Yeah, that was pretty
that's,
normal.
That's super common.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
Which
I mean, that was the
which
whole
is
reason the
dumb
security
because
guard
you
went
could
in
just-
there.
Oh yeah.
You could just like walk out and go smoke and then walk back in because nobody's ever watching the doors.
Oh no, the schools that I went to were gated.
Oh, I guess like there was like the bleachers. You smoke under the bleachers.
Do you? I don't know.
Gosh.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever.
I don't
guys.
smoke.
Yeah, I'm a good.
Yeah,
boy.
I don't either. But like, there's plenty of places to smoke. There's plenty of places to have sex in high school.
Mhm,
Based.
mhm,
Like the entire drama department.
mhm.
I was in drama. I never did that.
Yeah. So I got another one for you. So we're going like to the actual stories. This is off the record, but like.
No,
is
it's not. This is not off the record.
This is on the record. All right. So I have to go up
the
to
most
Barrow. I have to go up to Barrow sometimes for my job, and I think I posted on Twitter. I'm like, yeah. So Barrow is literally at the top of the world.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
habitable
fucking
space.
dope.
Yeah, which is funny because they have 5G up there.
Huh.
Wow.
It's super slow. Like the latency is a ton, but like the data transfer speed is still like 200 kilobytes per second. It functions.
Did you get to see Hypnosis
What?
from the 5G waves?
Oh yeah, right. Oh, this is Hypnosis. No.
Did you see the ice walls at the end of the earth?
What scares me is like the neighborhood in my new house where my wife and I are moving next year. There's just like a giant 5G tower right next to like the welcome sign. Like, you're entering the terraces. 5G pillar. All right, cool.
Cool.
But I'm up in Barrow, which this time I went, it was like negative 35 degrees. But I was there 2 weeks ago. Fun fact, Frog, do you know negative 40 Celsius is the same Fahrenheit?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, so like think about that. So almost negative 40 Celsius with 12-mile-an-hour winds. That was god-awful.
Pretty fucking cold.
Yeah. So I was there 2 weeks ago, and I'm sitting at the airport playing Hades, and I'm waiting for my flight, and there's a husband and a wife, and the husband's like standing with his back to the wall, like he's like 6'3", 6'4". He's actively ignoring his wife, and his wife is this like 4'10" short woman, and she's looking up to him with like the poutiest face you can imagine, like lips clenched like between her teeth, like just pouting and glaring at him, and she's just doing it for like 2 minutes, and she starts like stomping her foot, and he's still ignoring her. And all of a sudden, she starts talking. She's like, "Come on, let me gum it. Let me rub it on my gums."
Oh, no.
And her husband is still ignoring her. And at this point, like, I've kind of paused Hades because I'm doing a shield run, so I don't expect to actually make it out. And I'm like pulling my headphone off my ear to listen to her. And she's like, "Come on, my teeth hurt. Let me gum it. Let me rub it on my gums." And her husband is ignoring her. He's like, "I'm getting a migraine. You know, when I can't think, I get mad." And her husband is just
about to go She-Hulk on him.
And he's like pointedly ignoring her. And she's like, "Come on, let me rub some on my gums. I don't have to have a lot. Just let me rub it on my gums." And she's like, "My teeth hurt. I got a headache. Come on." And he's ignoring her. And finally, he just stops. He's like, "No, we agreed not until we get online for the flight." And she's like, "But my teeth hurt now. My teeth are hurting now." And she's like pulling her bottom lip out and like slapping her teeth with her fingers.
Jesus.
She's like, my teeth are hurting. And he's just trying his hardest to ignore her. And finally, she just loses her mind and starts and this airport, like the waiting area is like 10 by 10. So it's not very big. And she starts stamping up and down like the 2 rows of seats. And she starts singing this song about a mine collapsing and how they're so grateful that nobody who actually worked in the town died because it was all skags. It was like no union workers. It was all like black people and skags.
Oh.
And she's singing this song and she gets like 2 verses in. And I'm into this song. I'm like, holy crap, this is great. And finally her husband can't stand it anymore and pulls like, you know those 2-ounce quick shot glasses of Jägermeister? Like the really tiny ones? He pulls one like out of his pocket. I've never seen a human being move so fast in my life. This woman sprints across the airport and just like grabs the thing and just downs it completely. Just like doesn't even taste it. Just 2 ounces gone. And then her husband makes a point of disappearing. And I have no idea where this guy went. Like, I have no idea where this dude went. But like, I could tell he was done with her.
Jesus Christ.
And so I now watching. I'm invested. I'm watching in horror as this woman stops singing and she sits down for a bit. And I think everything's calmed down. So I go back to Hades. And then she stands up and starts singing. And I don't remember the exact lyrics, but I knew the song because it was like one of those songs you learn in elementary school. Mm-hmm. It was one about how she was so grateful that Father Raven created the earth. And she's like stamping around the airport, clapping and like singing the song as happily as she can. And she's like trying to get the other passengers to like, they're all waiting to start singing. And everyone's like,
see, if this wasn't like an airport, I wouldn't believe you. But I've been in enough airports to understand that people are just fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's I'm just like, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, I'd lost all interest to play Hades at this point. I'm just watching this woman in rapture. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So I thought it was the funniest damn thing on the planet. I get the worst things happening at airports. Like, if it's not spousal abuse, it's alcoholism.
Jeez. Oh. Way to bring the mood up.
Yeah, right. Like, it was a funny story to me. Like, everybody in Alaska thinks it's a great story because, like, it's something we've all seen. Like,
I mean, yeah,
anybody in Alaska.
You're like, oh, you mean Tuesday?
Yeah, it's like Tuesday in Barrow, which is funny because it was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Exactly. See.
Yeah, it was. I've been waiting to tell you guys that story for like 3 weeks because I was like, holy crap! Like, what the hell?
I'm glad Mike was here to hear that one.
Yeah, like Mike. There you go. Alcoholic parents. You enjoy that, Mike? They bring you back to your childhood.
Oh God, no.
Oh, memories.
Oh, memories. Hey, did I ever tell you the time my dad beat me?
No.
Hey, those
No,
are
that was Mike.
those are
Well,
my
Mike didn't say
stories.
Yeah. I don't know, like, I got all these, like, weird stories of my father. Like, I think my father tried to be a really supportive dad. And to be fair, my father knows more still about networking and network security than I may ever know. But, like, he was trying really hard for a long time to be super supportive of me. And I got into anime because they got, like, Toonami. I don't know, Mike, do you remember Toonami? You probably, yeah, like, because we've talked about it, Mike. Like, you remember early Toonami when they had, like, Outlaw Star, Tenchi Muyo, Dragon Ball Z, and Sailor Moon. And that was, like, the block.
I never grew up with that personally. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I got into anime, and my father, working, with all these different people, he was asking around. He's like, yeah, my son really likes anime, but I don't know what to get him at Blockbuster. And so this one guy that he was working with is like, oh, Akira is a really good movie. It's a classic. Like, you should get your 10-year-old son Akira. Are you still there, Mike?
Mike seems to be having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think Mike, like, tabbed out and hoped we wouldn't call in on him for the story. All right, so he goes to the store. He goes to Blockbuster to rent me Akira. And once again, not a movie for a 10-year-old. Whatever.
Who cares?
And Akira isn't there. The only thing is there is this anime called Agent Aka, which,
I don't know that one.
Just so you know, Agent Aka is porn.
Oh.
Right? It is absolutely, like, I guess it's got a plot, but it's like women in skirts so low, like, it basically covers their navel and nothing else. Like, their panties are on display the entire show, no matter what's happening.
Right.
And
But
so
I
my
thought
dad's
you
like,
hate that
oh
stuff.
yeah, this is Akira. So he grabs Agent Aka, and he doesn't even watch it with me. He's like, all right, let's sit down, Moth. Let's watch this. Mom's out gambling with the other women watching Bonko. It's like a Mormon version of Yahtzee. And so he's like, let's watch this. And he, like, puts it in the DVD player, because I think, like, our DVD players had just been a thing at the time. And then he takes a phone call and walks out of the room. And I'm left here watching this, like, high-class hentai. And my dad's gone. Like, 2 episodes of the anime air while my dad's gone. And he comes back in, like, halfway through the 3rd episode, where a dude's basically raw-dogging a chick in the shower. And he comes in, he's like, huh. This doesn't seem like it's okay for a 10-year-old. And I'm expecting him to, like, turn it off. Like, and get mad at me for still watching this.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then he's like watching, he's like, huh, I think I understand why you like this stuff. And just keeps watching it with me.
He's like, oh, son, you're a man of taste, huh?
At least you're straight. I'm like, Dad, you rented this for me.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
So, like, yeah, so, like, the same thing happened, I think, like, a year later. I know you probably weren't old enough for it at the time, Frog, but, like, the parody movies got really popular. Like, first was Scary Movie, and Scary Movie 2, then Scary Movie 3.
Big movie,
and
not another teen movie.
I was, like, 12 years old riding the bus, and one of the kids was like, hey, man, have you seen Playmate of the Apes yet? It's really good. And I was like, no, I can't say I've seen Playmate of the Apes. It's like, oh man, it was the best. I watched it the other day. You got to watch it. So I'm thinking it's like Scary Movie.
Yeah.
And I want to watch it. So I'm like, hey Dad, can we watch Playmate of the Apes sometime? And he didn't think anything of it. Like, he was just like, whatever. And so then later we had cable, or we had Dish, and there was a package you could get with Dish that gave you, like, the crappiest porn channel for free.
Oh yeah.
Like, you got, like, all the channels, everything, like, even NFL, and then you had access to, like, the porn channel that only plays, like, stuff that's 10 years old or older.
Oh yeah.
And I remember seeing it one day. I'm like, hey Dad, it's Playmate of the Apes. You want to watch it, right? So we sit down to watch it. And that movie just starts with a lesbian scene. Like, not even a minute in, and these women are, like, having sex on top of a freaking cryo chamber. And my dad's just sitting here with me, and he's watching. He's like, are you sure this is, like, Scary Movie? I'm like, yeah, the other kid said he loved it. And then, like, I think we made it 10 minutes into that movie before my dad was sort of like, nah, this is porn. And just turned it off.
But he loved it.
Yeah. So it's like, my father tried. He really did.
Did it work?
I was like, well, Well, Dad, I'm guessing that I'm a bit straighter than you are, huh?
Yeah, it's. By the way, I'm posting a promo image for what Agent AK is in the guest chat, so you guys can see how stupid it is. Like, it's that bad. But, like, yeah, so a lot of my childhood is just my dad trying his hardest to be a supportive father, and then just getting me porn instead.
It's a consistent issue to have.
It happened so often that at one point I thought he was, like, doing it intentionally because how strict my mom was.
That is a very odd thing to do more than once.
Yeah, like, it happened way more
One
often.
time I can kind of understand, as odd as it is, but...
Yeah, so I don't know. What about you, Mike? Do you have any stories about your father that don't involve, like, throwing alcohol bottles at you?
Well, the most supportive thing he ever did was continuously hit me.
Said, I'm helping you build strong bones.
It's
called repeat trauma.
It's called milk.
They get calcified.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, son. Now get your ass over here.
All right, what about you, Frog?
My dad never beat me.
Really?
Nah.
I was actually supposed to go fishing today with my pops.
Oh yeah, what happened with that?
Yeah,
You're gonna say something about that, and you never told me yet.
Yeah. No, he was just like, yeah, I'm thinking about going fishing today. You want to go? And I was like, what? You want to spend time with me? Yeah.
Yeah.
And but then he was like, he's just kind of getting a little bit complicated. Like, oh, okay, well, we gotta go do this, we gotta go do that. And I just saw him eating his breakfast, and I'm like, and then I said something, and he was just like, change that face. And I'm like, you know what? It's probably better that we don't spend time together. And there's actually something that I could go do instead. And so that's why like I flip flop so fast with you guys. And and then like when he was leaving, he was like, "No, you're gonna come with me. You need the experience." And I'm like, "Sorry, I already got an appointment."
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I can't flip, and then, snip, snap, snip, snap, snip.
Slippity slap. Don't talk back.
You're right. you guys know my father.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Frog, like, there's never been a story where, like, your dad was like, hey, how are you doing with the Tekken tag tournament? Like, nothing like that? Like, ever?
I don't talk to my parents. I live with them.
You, like, live with them?
Yeah. I don't talk to my parents.
All right. Okay.
That's why I like to keep it. My life is so
like,
separate from my parents, despite living so close. I like it that way. It's comfortable.
All right, Mike. Like any stories of like awkward things you did with your girlfriend? Like,
dude, anything? Your name is Moth. How do you like accidentally call yourself?
I said Mike, didn't I?
You said Moth, and then you're like Moth. No, wait, Mike.
Yeah, I guess. Ooh, weird. I didn't even hear myself say that.
I mean,
so Mike, you got any stories, like embarrassing stories, like you're with your girlfriend and you pooped yourself at like Red Robin again?
Again?
Well, I mean, I
don't want to talk about it.
No, my girlfriend, she just tends to try to make fun of me every opportunity she can. But I'm not one to kiss and tell, but I think I had the most amazing sex last night.
And then she woke up.
No, man. She called me a tiger.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
like
Mike.
I guess tiger is the word that does it for you. Generally, it's when my wife is like good
Mike,
boy that I'm
Mike
like.
Is always to be a sexual champion.
A sexual tiger. That's why he's got that long mane. Like if you've ever seen a picture of him, he's got the.
He does have
mane.
a nice hair.
Yeah, he does. You really do, Mike. You got great hair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I shampoo it like once a week, and then mostly condition it.
All right. If you guys don't have any more stories, I'll wrap it up with like another one from my childhood. This one actually happened right around Christmas. So when I was growing up, the bus stop to my house, you had to like go all the way out to Eagle River, like to the end of Eagle River, which is this long like.
And drank 8 gallons of fuel just to walk across
close.
the river.
It was like 800 meters, so half a mile to get from my bus stop to my house, and it was all uphill.
Yeah,
no matter
this
what
is one
bus
of those
stop.
grandpa stories.
No. Like, so what would happen is my mom would drop me off at the bus stop at like 7:45 as a kid.
Whoa, hold on, Frog. Moth is technically 30.
Yeah.
So we could technically, do the whole like get up
Suck it,
Lord.
nerd.
Yeah.
So,
What are you gonna do? Shit your pants?
I don't know,
But
Mike. You're
I'm-
pushing 30 almost. You're getting there.
Yeah, he's 28.
Yeah.
But so
We're not talking about me. We're talking about Moth.
my house was on a hill, and so you'd have to get up the hill. So in the morning, my mom would take me down to the bus stop because it was too cold to just let me walk, and I would get on my bus, and then I would come home from school. And one day I think I'd like stayed up all night playing something. It wasn't Animal Crossing because Animal Crossing didn't come out till 2002, but I'd played something all night, like literally all night, and I was dead tired. And so I was walking home from school, and I just kind of found a snowbank, and I just laid down and passed out on the snowbank.
Always a fun activity.
And I mean, it's fine because like I'm wearing like snow pants, snow boots, a jacket, a hat, a scarf. Like I look like the damn kid from A Christmas Story, where he's like, "Mom, wait for me." Like that's how every kid in Alaska looked in the winter. And so I find this nice little snowbank, and I just fall down and I fall asleep. And I wake up a half an hour later to my mom just screaming at me. The snowbank had followed like a road. Like you walk up this road and then you turn left and you keep walking up and then you eventually get to your house. And I just kind of passed out on a snowbank on the side of the road. And my mom is like screaming at me. She's like, "I was worried that you had been killed or that the bus ran off the road. And here you are just sleeping in the snow." And I'm like, "Mom, what's the problem? I'm not dead."
I don't know.
That's
man.
the most anime story you've ever told.
The most anime story.
Yeah,
Is
you
it?
know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's pretty mundane.
no, child, falling asleep in the snow, almost dying, mom or parent hysterically
What?
worried about their child. Like that's an anime, right?
Probably.
Yeah, that's
probably some kind of
I definitely remember that scene from Erase with the little girl.
Well, I was thinking of Clannad, but yeah.
Mike
All
would
right,
never
you guys
think of
got any more
Clannad. Hang on
stories?
a second.
Any other stories, guys?
It's Christmas in a little bit.
Oh well, I got a story. So you guys know how weed is legal in California now?
What?
Yeah. And I heard you moved to California a little while ago.
Well, yeah, I'm here for like a little while.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to my mom and I'm asking her like what are we planning to do for Christmas? And before I can even get on the subject, she's like asking, hey, so in high school, did you ever smoke weed? And and I was like, no, no. And she goes, "Are you sure? What about your brother? Does your brother smoke weed?"
Are you sure?
And I'm like, well, and like so I was like, all right, I'm gonna mess with her, and I was like, well, yeah, we all did. I mean, who hasn't? It's California. And she like slaps me and she goes, "Seriously, have you guys ever you ever smoked weed?" And I was like, "Mom, like we can go right now to go buy some weed. Come on, put your shoes on."
on.
And she smacks me again, and she's like, you know, because I'm Mike, and she's
Damn!
Mike's gonna hate us.
I'm so sorry, Mike.
do you hate us, Mike? Do you hate us?
I hate myself right now. But no, she's like, "Oh, you know, my entire life I've been so proud of you boys that you guys my kids are noble and that they don't smoke weed or anything." And I was like, "Mom, it's freaking legal. It like like it's not bad anymore." And she was like, "No, I don't want to find out that you guys smoke." And I was like, "Fine, I've never touched the stuff, Mom." And then she's like, "Are you lying?" "No."
This is a great Christmas story. I like to listen to at Christmas.
So let's talk about Christmas, Mom, and then that's when we change the subject. But yeah.
All right. I do actually have a weed story. So understand that when it comes to like doing drugs, like if somebody's telling me like, "Oh yeah, you know, I do cocaine," like I have way more respect for a dude who does cocaine than heroin, because when you're on cocaine, you get stuff done. Like pure and simple. You're productive. Like guys who do crack, guys who do cocaine, guys that do meth, like all of those people are much higher on my list of people than like prescription drug abusers and heroin addicts. Like I respect a crackhead.
You respect the uppers, not the downers, huh?
Yeah, exactly. If you're on an upper, like if you're doing Four Loko, like do it. Like do it.
Get yours, dog.
Well, okay, so I'll tell you a story because I got really bored and I researched Four Loko not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I guess when that stuff came out, it was
New
it
drug
was
just
super
dropped.
high alcohol volume. It was 14% alcohol volume in a liter.
Four Loko is actually my very first experience with alcohol.
Well, you got to realize, like in 2009, when Four Loko first came out, it was 200 milligrams of caffeine and 14% alcohol in 32 ounces. So, like,
Yeah.
I guess the joke was
insane.
you do one and you have fun. You have two and someone's gonna die.
Yeah. It was insane.
Yeah, apparently they had to drop the dose. It's like now it's like 6% alcohol and like only 140 milligrams of caffeine. So it's not as good as it used to be by a mile.
Yeah, Four Loko went away for a while, right? And then it came back.
Yeah, they sold it to the Chinese. What happened is it was illegal in New York, which is where the big selling point was. Chuck Schumer shut it down and made it illegal.
Yeah, that's
so
the
they had
thing
this
I do.
huge warehouse they didn't want to dispose of because it's alcohol, it's liquid gold. So they shipped it to China, and I guess in the year like 2010, if you go to like Chinese social media at the time, there are just videos of like Chinese college students like jumping off skyscrapers because they're high as hell on like this stuff. Like it's just videos of college kids in China killing themselves because of how much like of the stuff they drank.
It's a lot of alcohol for a.
Yeah, it's bad. They shipped I think like an entire boat filled with it.
You ever had one, Frog?
I don't drink.
Okay.
Yeah, I got drunk once in my life and never again. But
Good guys.
I did weed once. And this is allegedly I did weed once. This story may or may not have happened. So I didn't know what I was doing. And so there's two types of there's two strains of weed primarily. It's like stevia and indica.
Right.
And those are the two primary strains. Like everything you get will either be a mix of them or there'll be just like one. And it's like the stevia is an upper and the indica is a downer. And so I talked to my wife. I'm like, hey, I've always wanted to do weed. It's legal. Let's go do weed. So, and this is all allegedly. So she gives me like $150 and she's like, okay, go buy weed. So she gives me $150. I allegedly head to the weed store. And I don't know like how much weed I need to get high, and she wouldn't let me smoke it. I wanted to smoke the weed, but she was like, "No, you got to bake it into brownies because like I don't want weed in our house."
Oh no!
So we go to the weed store, and I'm like, "Hey man, can I get like your best indica?" And I'm like, I dropped 150 on the table, and they're like, "Yeah, that'll cover half an ounce," which I think it was like actually $120 for half an ounce.
That's a lot of money.
And so I get half an ounce of weed for $120. Maybe it was 90. I don't remember. Like it wasn't that much. Like really, for half an ounce of weed, I think like $100 is pretty okay for prices.
I don't
Wait,
know.
so when you asked for indica, did you know you were asking for the downer?
Yeah, I did because my wife didn't want to get paranoid.
Okay.
So I knew I was asking for the downer. So I was like, all right, we'll do this. And I think I got like the Great Ape or something was the flavor I had. And they all have stupid names. I asked for White Widow because I've been wanting to try White Widow since I was 12 on Xbox Live. But I was like, yeah, like I'll do this stuff. So I get the stuff. I get a half an ounce of weed, and then I go to Fred Meyer's and I buy like one of those personal brownies. The one that's like it fits in like an 8-inch pan, so it's not even that big. And so I bake. I was reading the instructions, and you're like, oh yeah, you're supposed to turn it into a butter that you use, like, and that way it dissolves better. I'm like, I'm not going to sit around and make butter for 2 days. Like, it's Friday night. I want to get high. So I baked.
Allegedly.
You set, yeah, allegedly. So you set your oven to 120 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to activate the weed and make it actually work. So I eat I bake it allegedly for 45 minutes. And then I bake it into the brownie. And so there is half an ounce of weed in an 8-inch by diameter brownie.
How do you bake something allegedly?
Allegedly.
Okay.
So
you allegedly did it.
I got half an ounce of weed in an 8-ounce brownie, and like anybody who actually knows, eating weed is so much more efficient than smoking it. It just takes longer to activate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my wife and I are sitting here watching. I don't even remember what we were watching. We're watching anime, and we're eating this brownie, and an hour goes by. Neither of us are high. No. So we've each eaten about a quarter of this brownie, and neither of us are high. No. And I'm like, all right, I'll just eat the other half of the brownie. So I eat probably a quarter of an ounce of weed in an hour.
The first mistake.
Yeah, and an hour later, I'm just laughing at my hand. Like I'm staring at my hand and I'm laughing. I'm like, wifey, this is the funniest damn thing I've ever seen. And I can't even say that it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. I'm just like, hand funny, and I'm like clapping.
Yeah,
I somehow managed to. Well, go ahead.
You guys can't see me, but like I have my eyes closed because I'm cringing so hard because I know what you're going.
I walked down the stairs and I let my dogs go to the bathroom and I let them back in. And then I go and my wife's like, we should go on a walk. And I am sane enough that I'm like, no. Because the weed is kicking in and I do not want to try to walk in an Alaskan winter while we're both high.
Yeah.
So I lay down and I go to sleep and I don't really remember much. I have these vivid like check marks in my brain. And so in my mind, I remember getting up to pee 3 times and not being able to pee. Like standing there and having a painfully full bladder and not being able to pee no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at one point walking to the bathroom and not making it and just laying it on the floor for like an hour before I crawled to the bathroom. I have memories of sitting on the toilet trying to pee and falling off the toilet. I have memories of standing in front of the fridge for an hour eating an entire like box of mangoes.
Yeah.
I have all these vivid memories. And then I finally woke up hungover. And keep in mind, we started Friday night, like at 10 o'clock. We ate half an ounce of weed, like a quarter ounce each.
Yeah.
I wake up and it is Sunday afternoon.
Oh shit! You lost a whole day.
I lost a whole day.
Fuck. Dude, that's
Allegedly.
crazy. I've never experienced that, but that's fucking insane. I hate edibles. Like I have an edible story to tell you guys, but
Okay.
yeah, but you were talking about your memories. There was one time where we had the munchies and we're like raiding the fridge, and I found some pizza rolls, and so it's become kind of like a meme with my brother and my cousin. It's like pizza rolls.
Yeah.
Because I was so hyped. Yeah.
Classic Mike, him and his brother, not his sister, his brother.
And but anyways, the edible. The very first time I had an edible, my cousin shows up to the house and he's like, oh, here I got a brownie. Here, don't even take half of it. Just take a little bit. And I'm like, okay. I was like, all right. I have like very low tolerance for all of these stuff. I'm not one who like. I know I'm sharing my stories, and it may sound like I do it.
You're a hardcore stoner, but you're not.
I'm really not. And yeah, I barely even drink as it is either. For the same reasons. But anyways, in this case, it was, like you're a teenager, you're kind of fucking around. Days are long, days are boring, blah, blah, blah. And my cousin shows up with these brownie. He's like, here, take a little bit. It's your first time, right? He's like, yeah. So it's like, yeah, just have a little bit. By the way, do you want to go to Compton to buy a car?
Go to Compton to buy a car.
Yeah, and I mean,
there?
because my cousin, he would flip cars. Like, he would buy them on Craigslist and then just... Mm-hmm.
Man, this does not sound like a good time, but go on.
Yeah.
But go off.
Yeah. So I thought he was memeing. I'm like, sure. And I'm like, all right, let's go. So, I it takes a while to activate. And he was, so on the way to Compton, which is about an hour and a half drive from where I was staying. He's telling me his plan. He's like, yeah, so I'm basically bringing you, in case we actually buy the car. That way you can drive it on the way back. And, I was like, okay. And it hit me so hard, and it hit me in such a way that I was not expecting, because it's a whole different type of high. And then smoking it. And so he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. He goes, try to sleep it off. We got a little ways to go. So I like roll over on the passenger seat, and I'm just like there praying, like in the fetal position. And I'm like, God, please don't buy this car. Please don't buy this car. Please don't buy this car. And like it hadn't hit me until he was like, yeah, no, we're really going to Compton, when we actually got off the freeway and I started seeing.
Well, if you're high as hell, being like, that's the best time to be in Compton.
Yeah, and so we're driving around the streets, and it like suddenly hit me, holy shit, fucking Compton is a real place.
This guy wasn't fucking around.
And yeah, so we get there and I'm like he gets off the car, he's doing the negotiations and stuff, and I'm just still sitting there. I'm just like, please don't fucking buy this car, please don't buy this car. And he bought it.
Did you have to like grab your like? So did you have to drive then with the other car?
Yeah, I was in the other car, and I just had the windows down the entire time, just having the air like smack me in the face while
To keep you awake.
Yeah. Yeah, but I did it.
Jeez.
I mean I've honestly been on. You guys know what Purin is, right?
No.
Purin.
No.
Purin. It's like Sad Panda, but for old people.
No.
Okay.
But
do you know what Sad Panda is?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Do you know what Sad Panda is, Mike?
no.
Porn.
Yeah, it's doujinshis.
Oh, okay.
Like, I once had a day where it was like the middle of a snowstorm, and I was trying desperately to stay awake as I was like driving back from a job site. And I think I'd already had like 4 energy drinks and a coffee in my system, and I was not staying awake because I was on like a 36-hour shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so desperate to stay awake that I had like Purin up on my phone. And I was like just looking at One Piece porn trying to stay awake. Because I was like, if I have a boner, I can't sleep.
Damn.
And that was the only thing keeping me going.
Man, I've had some scary driving stories, like where I've just like I was driving back from like a girlfriend's place or whatever at some point, and then just fell asleep at the wheel and like woke up like couple seconds later, like, oh, I'm almost off the road, which would mean like off the entire highway and into a ditch
And dead, yeah.
and die. Yeah.
I'm glad. Like, damn, it happens. Like more often than we want to admit. Like we're tired on the road. Like me as an engineer, I've had jobs where like I came home from a 16-hour shift. And I fell asleep. Like, I had to unwind. You have to unwind if you get off a 16-hour shift.
Yeah.
Like, you can't immediately go to bed. A lot of people are like, oh, yeah, 16-hour shift, fine. You get, like, 7 hours of sleep. Like, no, you get 3.
Yeah.
You get 3 hours of sleep after a 16-hour shift because you need at least 2 hours to unwind. So I get off a 16-hour shift, and then I have to drive up to Fairbanks from Anchorage, which is a 6-hour drive each way. I get woken up 3 hours later, and they're like, yeah, you gotta get to Fairbanks. And so I drive up to Fairbanks 6 hours, work 5 hours, and drive back 6 hours. I'm like, I'm going to die tonight. Like, I'm just going to crash my car and die. There's nothing I can do about it. And I think I had like Panic at the Disco. I listened to A Fever You Can't Sweat Out like 4 times because that album is a complete baller album.
I've never heard them ever. I mean, I probably have, but I don't know any of their songs. I couldn't name a single Panic at the Disco song.
I chimed in. Haven't you ever heard of Closing the Gosh Darn Door?
Oh, is that one by them? I hate that song.
It's much better to face this kind of thing.
Yeah.
With a sense of poison rationality. Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the
one.
only song from them that I've ever, like, remotely liked. I'm not a Panic at the Disco guy.
I love Panic at the Disco. But I only really like A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Like, 7 Days a Week or whatever, that weird Beatles-inspired album they did immediately after sucked. The next album was kind of bad, and then like Death of a Bachelor was pretty okay, and they've been pretty alright since then, but really you can't hit A Fever You Can't Sweat Out.
You should just make good music.
I'm sorry, I'm an
instead.
old man. Yeah, unlike 100 Gex.
No, they should make more music like 100 Gex.
I gotta ask, Frog, because once again, I feel like a lot of the times I'm like that ignorant uncle who's trying to be supportive of people but doesn't actually understand how to, so like my good intentions come off as offensive. One of those bandmates is trans, right?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if it was a stage show kind of thing where it's like, haha, the character I play in 100 Gex is trans, but I'm not, or if they're actually trans.
Laura, the girl,
Okay.
she's a trans woman.
Okay, that's are they siblings?
No, they're just friends.
They look exactly the same.
Yeah, they do.
They actually look like the same person.
I think they
In
I think
fact,
they
somebody-
actually like made their hairstyle like the same, like on purpose.
I think somebody had a picture of the twins from How to Train Your Dragon. They're like, look, it's 100 Gex.
Because they both bleach it white. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, like, Stupid Horse is actually a good song.
Yeah, banger.
Sympathy for the Grinch was actually pretty okay. But, like, for every one song they have where I actually enjoy it, I find myself just listening to Nails in a Blender for every, like, 3
That's
other songs.
kind of like their aesthetic, though.
It's not though. Like, and I'm not kidding. When I say like they're just a new age version of the Metadroid. Because Mike and I, like, I don't know if you remember, Mike. Like, MySpace was where you went to get new music back in the day.
Yep.
Like that's how Hollywood Undead got big. That's how
Yep.
Metadroid got big.
God, I haven't heard that name in a really long time. Yeah.
Dude, you grew up in California. I expect you to listen to Hollywood Undead every day.
No.
Like,
no, I did.
Swan songs every day of the week.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally did. Yeah, that was me. Guilty. yeah. I just haven't heard Hollywood Undead in a really long time. But
that was how Fallout Boy got big. That was how actually Panic at the Disco got big. Was all of them got big on MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
And then like actually that's where Jeffree Star got big. Unfortunately,
So Jeffrey Epstein got big.
No, Jeffrey Epstein got big because he somehow, without a degree, became a professor at a college.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Jeffrey Epstein. I just know he was kind of a goofy dude.
Here's the thing: if you look at Jeffrey Epstein in the 70s and 80s, you can understand how he got away with everything because that man was gorgeous.
That was like a creepy dude nowadays.
No, but like if you look at him in the 80s, like you can tell how this dude slayed as much puss as he slayed. Like this dude was gorgeous. There's no way around it. Like, and you can see it. Like you can see it a little bit now, but like here. Frog, I'll send you a picture. Like, look at this man and tell me like you don't understand how he got away with everything. Guest chat. Here you go. Like, look at this dude's face. Like,
that guy looks like a freaking actor.
Yeah, he does. Like, he's gorgeous though.
Does he? He looks like what's his name? John. He looks like some kind of actor
John
I would have
Goodman?
known and talked about at some point in my life.
Yeah, like he looks like he could be on the cast of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah, like really, he's an attractive ass dude.
He has a chiseled face.
Yeah,
Excellent
he really
jawline.
does. That dude has you could always tell that man from a crowd by his face.
Mm-hmm.
You can always tell by the face of an Epstein.
Yeah, like that dude has a clear face.
Yep. Unfortunately, I never got invited to his mansion.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, right. I never got to give him a back massage for $200.
I mean, Frog, if you're curious enough, there's a documentary on Netflix.
The documentary is mostly okay until you get to the very, very end, and I think like they ran out of steam in the last half hour.
Yeah, it really did end really deflated, but it's because the story kind of ends deflated, you know?
Yeah, it's like, oh, he was killed by the Clintons in jail. The end.
Allegedly.
What's funny is I was actually impressed that the documentary had a coroner who's like, yeah, he could not have broken those bones in his neck by hanging himself. Like, a coroner straight up continued the conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
That's really
hey,
conspiracy
Frog.
theory. It's basically like just common knowledge at this point.
Yeah, but the fact is, like, it is common knowledge that somebody in our echelons of the government, like, I'm not going to say, oh, Trump killed him, the Clintons killed him, like, even though I did, like, people in the higher echelons of the government either gave him a body double, which is the more extreme theory that I don't necessarily agree with, or they killed him to silence him. Like, and we were just like, yeah, it happened, and we're pissed, but nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, that's welcome to the society that we live in.
Yep, we live in society.
We're gaming.
Joker.
Yep.
Hey, speaking of documentary, Moth, have you seen The Game Changers?
Let me just
Look it up.
The Game Changers.
That sounds like something Moth would be into. I don't even know what it is.
That just looks like a spousal abuse title. Like, what is this? The Game Changers, a movie that could have been more through Graham comparison.
It's a why you should be vegan movie.
What?
Documentary. Yeah.
You know, I'm not even as much of a I'm not as much of a meat eater as I used to be. Even with my bodybuilding, like I try to keep my red meat down to like 12.
Yeah, red meat just kills you.
A week.
I watched this documentary earlier in the week, and like the whole thesis of the movie is that like eating meat, it like you can get strong and you can be bulk and built.
Was it by Jesse Lee Peterson or something, or Jordan Peterson? Sorry.
Okay, you got to realize the technology that we have now, like the ability to extract the most protein isolation out of milk and stuff like that. That was not something we had when Arnold Schwarzenegger was winning like his bodybuilding tournaments.
Oh, he's in the movie.
Yeah, he is. He talks about it. I'm looking at it now. I remember wanting to watch this. Like, I get it. I do. I'm not somebody who believes that a vegan can't be a bodybuilder. I absolutely believe you can be. I think a vegetarian has a better chance of being a bodybuilder than a vegan because eggs and whey protein are a huge part of my diet.
I was just I just feel like it would be up your alley since you're into like bodybuilding and stuff.
Dude, you have no idea how much research I do every single week. It's disgusting.
I actually went vegetarian this week
Really?
because
I'm proud of you.
yeah.
I was vegan
Yeah,
for a
I'm
little
gonna-
bit. My mom was vegan. I didn't last.
No.
Nah, she
I'm
became
gonna try
un-vegan
it.
pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
I
for
get
it.
it.
I'm gonna see how long I last.
I kind of agree with my wife. Like, I feel like I could easily be vegetarian, but I don't think I have a snowball's chance in hell of being vegan.
Vegan's really hard.
My girlfriend said that I've already like she's already noticed like weight loss in my neck, but she also said that unfortunately I lost my butt.
Yeah, that you have to start doing squats, by the way, and you have to get good form squats. Like, you have to actually be able to drop your ass to the floor.
Ugh,
Yeah, I've been playing Ring Fit Adventure.
nice.
It's cool. Getting my shoulders back.
Played Just
Like when
Dance
I was
with my
working
girlfriend
out.
this weekend.
Oh,
That was fun.
you
I haven't
can
played that
dance
in
if
like
you want
literally
to.
like, since 2000 and whatever. Just kind of fun.
Dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. Yeah. When I was working out, my like favorite feature of my body was my shoulders. I love looking at my shoulders,
Right.
and I've lost that.
Lost your shoulders? How are you gonna live without your shoulders?
Hmm?
How you gonna live without shoulders?
On a wing and a prayer.
Man, Mike, some resolve today.
What's
So,
that? What'd you say?
Got some hella resolve today. I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
so
going through my shonen arc right now.
like I said, I wasn't on the podcast, and it almost looked like I wasn't going to be on the podcast for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just a little bit worried. I wanted to get some stuff for people where like we just talked, and we kind of gave them a nice little thing that they could listen to during their Christmas depression and stuff. So I really appreciate both of you making time, Frog and Mike.
Especially
You're
Mike.
welcome.
Mike especially. Mike had to.
Yeah, Mike especially.
Mike had to like
So
fight his
I'll
way
try
through
to-
an alley of man-eating squids just to get to like the podcast recording studio that he has built in that we're in right
California.
now. Yeah, California. We're all
Sad.
right now, currently in the same spot. So it's
Yep.
Yeah. So I really am happy, guys. Thank you. Hopefully we've made somebody's Christmas a little bit less lonely.
Hey Mike, wanna plug
I-
your Twitter?
Yeah, Mike, plug your Twitter at Anime Micro.
No, I think it's like something like he changed it to like Itsumo or something.
Itsumo. Yeah.
Was it?
Nah, you guys can follow me at Anime Maikuru.
Just refuses to drop it.
not gonna plug your Twitter.
But nah, it's cool. You guys can follow me at Anime Maikuru.
Okay,
I'm
great.
sure-
Yeah, I mean that's a good Twitter. to follow.
and about Micro, we're good.
Yeah. If you guys want, you guys can check out my buddy Kev's podcast. Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Great.
Pretty great
all
podcast.
all together, great.
Gosh.
So, there we go, guys. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Have a bad Christmas. I actually hate you now.
Oh wait, hold on. Before we go, I just wanted to ask, what's your guys' favorite Christmas song?
God rest you, merry gentlemen.
Oh, that's a good pick actually. I was
That
gonna
is
say
a good
Last
song.
Christmas, but I hate that one because of Whamageddon, which Mike
Mhm.
forcibly killed anyone who listens to our podcast. Because the last episode he put Last Christmas on. You guys know what Whamageddon is, or
No, I never heard it.
okay? So it's like an internet challenge where
Where you have to go the entire season without hearing Wham's
from
Last
December
Christmas.
1st all the way till the end of Christmas, or the start midnight Christmas morning, without hearing Last Christmas once. And Mike put a freaking sped up version of Last Christmas on the podcast before it played last week.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Right. You remember doing that? You
Yep,
dick?
I sure did. You're welcome, everybody. My favorite song is "I Won't Be Home for Christmas" by Blink-182. It's pretty cool.
Is that the one where it's like, it's Christmas Eve and I've only wrapped 2 get presents? Christmas Eve and I've only wrapped 2 get presents.
No, that's a good one. The other, no, this one is about like getting arrested on Christmas for attacking Christmas carolers.
Taste.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I guess there was a huge discussion about the song "Honey, It's Cold Outside," where a lot of people have given it this really bad rap. They're like, "Oh man, it's a song about being rapey and it's about the patriarchy." And I guess people have actually done like historical studies at the time in which the song came out. It's more about a woman breaking away from traditional sexual values and being like, "Yeah, I do actually want to stay at this guy's house and have sex with him."
I don't know anything
But
about that.
I gotta,
I'm not gonna say anything.
Apparently there's a lot of cultures like how women were actually supposed to say no, and like the certain amount of, if they said no a certain amount of times, it actually meant yes. Which is where the whole like no means yes mindset came from and everything. Like, female culture at the time was, I mean, obviously it was completely against women,
and that's how we got sent 100 years backwards than forward.
400 years. But,
no means yes. Ask me again.
Yeah, exactly. And so, a lot of like the Honey It's Cold Outside is actually very female empowering, but a bunch of people have only read the surface level lyrics as like how they translate now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So it's really weird. I don't know shit about.
I really
well,
don't.
of course, because things from the past need to be interpreted in a present context, because
Absolutely.
that's what's more familiar to me.
Here's a present context. Christmas. Get your significant other a good gift this season with anime branded MAGA hats or something. I don't know.
You didn't buy anything. No, I got my wife 32 gigs of RAM for Christmas because she bought herself a $500 subscription to a crafting box.
32 gigs of... What are you going to do with all that?
No, 32 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, that's what are you going to do with all that RAM?
Well, right now it's in her computer, and one of her RAM slots is dead, so she only has 16 gigs right now.
Okay, 16 is like an appropriate amount for like, but the 32 is like, what are you gonna do with all that stuff? Like run Chrome and Firefox? Like...
Well, no, so like we're gonna try to sell our house, and we have like I think we have over $100,000 in equity in our current house.
Yeah,
nice.
So I'm gonna try to sell my current house. When we buy the new house, I told her, I'm like, look, I'm dropping $4,000 on your computer, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's what I want to do with my girlfriend, because her computer's currently like not even good enough to run Undernight. It's really, really poor.
It's like you're gonna get a 5950X in your computer. You're gonna get a 3090. You're gonna get a solid state. You're gonna get two. I'm gonna mount every solid state I can fit on that motherboard for you.
Yeah, basically.
Like, just the list goes on. Of
5
like,
terabytes of SSD storage.
Well, she's already got a gig or a terabyte and a half, but like they make these liquid coolers now designed specifically for AMD chipsets, because AMD chipsets segregate the processors, like the cores. Mm-hmm. They put them on banks of 2. So you, for like a quad core processor, you have, or for an 8 core processor, you have 4 banks, and with the 12 core they did, there's like 3 per bank now. And so there's a cooler that's actually designed to keep that as if you're doing liquid cooling without doing liquid cooling. And that's what I'm going to buy her. Like, I already have planned out. It's going to be like a $3,000 build, and there's nothing she can do about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
I like to play my Game Boy Advance.
I'm going to have like...
What'd you say?
I like to play my Game Boy Advance still.
Sorry, Mike.
I don't know anything you guys are talking about.
That's just like, that is a real Mike answer. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. So this has been the We Hate Anime's Christmas special. I'll try to have it up by Christmas. If not,
well, we already had the Christmas special. It was about
Attack on Titan!
Tokyo Godfathers, which is sad because I actually really enjoyed
we were
Tokyo
gonna
Godfathers.
talk about it with you when Mike's around. Hey, Mike. Well, I think we'll do it next week anyway. We only talked a little bit about it. We're gonna elaborate more on the best of the year, which we delayed a little bit, guys, just because we wanted to get some guests on, and only Mike could show up this time.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Yep, this has been Mike Big.
And this is the We Hate Anime podcast.
Mike Big.
Mike Little.
Yeah.
No, I'm
right.
Mike Big.
Yeah, no, Mike Big. That's the new kid in town.
All right. Well, until next year, everybody.
I will
see you next time.
Is the next episode gonna be next year? I don't remember. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording right now after I hit the stop
Merry
recording.
Christmas, everybody, and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.